Hello, Dr. Sonical. This is past Sammy talking to present you about the topics that you gave me. I apologize, these aren't going to be the most polished, but we will try our best as this isn't on YouTube. This is doing this on my phone. Hopefully, you get the file and everything goes great. If you're seeing this, then it did. So, the first topic is how does the Golden Ass illustrate Neoplatonic or Neoplatonic philosophy? I forgot how to pronounce it exactly. There's three things that I could find, remember, and I would like to discuss. The first of the three is the ideas of God worship and God respect. Towards the beginning of the book, I believe Lucretius? Peleus? I forget the name of the main character. I should remember, but I'm drawing a blank. Isn't very respectful at all, or showing proper respect to Isis, and in doing so, finds less than good fortune, less than good luck, which will bring me my second topic in a bit, but through the entire book he's kind of very disrespectful and very oblivious to what he should be doing versus what he is doing. And it is only at the end of the book, whenever he becomes, I don't want to say pious or just respectful, but respectful and pious of Isis, where he's basically prostrates himself in front of her, saying, "I will do whatever you command. Please guide me into what I should be doing." And which she says, "If you were to go out into the world and read my books, stop eating terrible foods, you need to become celibate, you need to do all of these things and follow my teachings, then you'll become a member of my religion, you will be a devout believer in myself and spread the idea of me across the land." Maybe not necessarily spread across the land, but something like that. I also apologize for this, I'm just fidgeting while I speak. And which he does so, and the main thing out of that was extremely important was that because he's extremely horny the entire book, the celibacy was the hard thing for him to do. So that was the extremely difficult thing that he had to overcome, but still did it, so that way he could be protected from fortune, which is the second of three things that I wanted to discuss in terms of Neoplatonic philosophy with how it's demonstrated. In the book, the entire time, Lucretius is hit in the face over and over and over and over again with strings of bad luck. There is one moment in the book where he has some good luck. It starts off pretty he's getting a lot of time with women. And then he also, because of his bad fortune, gets turned into this ass, this donkey, and then is found with, "Hey, there's the thing that can cure me. Oh, I am being taken far away by bandits. Hey, I saved this woman from being brutally murdered. Turns out she's the princess, or the royal family, at least, in this town. Surely I'll get treated well there." And then no, it's beaten senselessly by the owners of the stable, the horse stable. He has only found a true good fortune again at the end of the book, whenever he pledges his allegiance basically to Isis, and she says, "Hey, here you go." This is shown to be we also discussed in class a lot about the ideas of protection from the difference between religion then and religion, the idea of what religion is for then versus the idea of what religion is for now. Most people think of, oh yeah, religion, it's you get saved, you get, in general, that's the shared between now and then. You'll get saved from eternal damnation in hell, and then back then you got saved from bad fortune. You would follow these gods, so that way you would have good fortune. As stupid and as simple as that sounds, or at least as simple as I'm saying it, you would be protected from bad fortune and have good fortune onto you. Hence, the story states that as soon as he becomes pious and devout, that's when the good fortune awaits him and is given to him. And then the third thing is more of the. This isn't more religion or kind of a vague topic. It's just women. It talks about women and how they were treated / how they were supposed to be treated. A lot of the time, it was that the man was, doing the manly thing of sleeping around, but at the same time, the women were. There was a passage in the book, I believe it was an entire chapter, about how this woman was married to a man, and then this man, and I think his brother or friend, I apologize for not remembering off the top of my head, goes off and they go hunting, and something happens to her husband, in which he dies. I forget if he gets gored, impaled to death by the animal they're hunting, or it's an error of the friend. But she then gets revenge on her dead husband by blinding and poisoning, I believe. I don't think it was a killing poison. I believe it was just like a paralyzing poison. So that way he could only sit there while she basically cut and scratched out his eyes so he could be blind for the rest of his life. And then promised to never love another as much at all to the degree of which she loved her husband, which was the way to think and the way to live in ancient Rome. There's a lot of women being devout, a lot of women being just doing the normal womanly thing of I'm trying to think of how to phrase this because I don't want to just say being good women, but I can't really think of anything else for the time that is more appropriate than being good women, of staying with husband, making sure that they're getting all their duties done just as the men are getting their duties done. But there was a lot of that through the book where it's just, the family takes care of themselves, the women does the women's job, the father does the father, the children do the children's job. There's a bunch of that type of thing, especially with the horse stables and the royal family. And at the end, not at the end, what was it? It was the family that was mourning the loss of their son, I believe, something like that. But they do a good job of the Golden Ass talks about that in some detail, at least. Another thing that they talk about is just the idea of transformation, the ability of change. I don't know if that's necessarily Neo-Platonic, but that's a big thing that they discuss and talk about in the book because of the transformation from, a man to an ass. The witch, who I believe was an owl, who turned back into a human, back into an owl. Kind of like transmogrification in Harry Potter. And then at the end of the book, the Lucretius turned back into a human and all that. I don't know if that's necessarily Neo-Platonic. If I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize. I'm just dumb. Second question, I'm going to knock out both of these in one video, in one take. Describe how the book illustrates the realities of Pax Romana at the late 2nd century, and please give some background about the state of Rome and the age of the 5 good emperors that you got from your lecture. Good lectures. Another place of text. So I didn't know. I emailed you about this, and I don't know if you meant the Golden Ass or if you meant as the Romans did, as the Romans lived. So I'm going to assume that you meant the Golden Ass in there, but I'm also going to use a little bit of as the Romans did and some mostly lecture. But Pax Romana was I'll do the background of the 5 good emperors in the state of Rome. During the time of the 5 good emperors, it was kind of like the death of Pax Romana, where they were constantly getting invaded. They were constantly getting, just little bits of land, little chunks of land being taken away, and it just was not, it was not the thriving time in the late 2nd century. there was a good bit of economic instability. There was a good bit of uh, uh, people not liking what things were happening in their classes, and then classes like lower, middle, high aristocrats. There's a lot of imbalance. There's a lot of distrust or dislike in Rome. I apologize for my finger keep getting in the camera. I keep getting notifications. Um, but what then ended up happening was the five good emperors each kind of had their own way of tackling a big problem in Rome. Like, I forget which did each. I apologize for that. I don't have my notes on me. They're in another room, and I want to one take this because I'm very busy today. But one handled the economic crises. Another one handled more of the common people issues that were happening, where they believe that, oh yeah, the aristocrats are so high up, and all these people who have all the power are all above us. That all got fixed. A few of the emperors had done things to get rid of, well, to add games and stuff like that, games and spectacles, the bread and circuses, to make sure that the people were happy. There wasn't really much of a military rebuff, as I don't know why, because they just kept getting ransacked and all of their things taken. But none of the five good emperors kind of went, you know what, we need an overhaul in military, and just kind of went, it is what it is. But after that, it wasn't. The five good emperors then, because of the state of Rome, they hadn't made it perfect. They hadn't brought it back to what it was, but they had brought it to a point where it was fixed, and where it could be. It was an operational, still a good operating empire. Like, it was able to run without much of an issue anymore. That being said, in the Golden Ass, there's a few times that are shown that there are bandits, there's military coming in and invading. Lucretius is in a town, I believe, where the one day where he's still as an ass, he comes into the town and he's like, "Hi, this is great. I love it here." And then bandits come in. I believe they were just called the bandits. I don't think they were given a specific title. They might have been like the Goths, or just the barbarians from the west, or from the east rather. But they just kind of get, ransacked. And this happens, I believe, twice, two or three times. Because I know it happens once at the beginning, and I think it happens one more time where the town he's at. Yes, the town where he's in the stable because the royal people were like, "You saved our daughter. Here, enjoy life with the royal steeds." And the town that he's in just gets nailed by bandits in the night, and that's how he's able to escape. But there's also a lot of the emperors aren't doing much. The aristocrats are free to do. Like, as shown in the beginning of the book, Lucretius is basically not doing his job. He's doing whatever he wants to do, but he is a person of power and should be, for the most part, doing his job, but he's not. That's kind of what Pax Romana was happening. There wasn't one stable emperor. We discussed in class, I believe it was over the course of a year, there was 17 emperors, because the Praetorian Guard kept going like, "And you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead." But yeah, there was a lot of that. I think I've covered everything that I wanted to discuss with each. This is hopefully going to be going up on YouTube once I upload it in like the next 5 minutes. This is past me saying this to present you. Thank you again for allowing me to do this. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope everything goes well, and I will see you in the future. Bye-bye.